What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Monday, May 17th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate.
And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, we have an 8-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. Now, I'm not going to mess around here. I'm going to pay up for pitcher, and I'm going to give you some value plays at the batter positions so you can fit this guy in. So I like Garrett Cole with an 11% pitching advantage over a low salary batting team, the Texas Rangers. Garrett Cole is only giving up a .540 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 6 righties here tonight. He's also only giving up a .553 OPS versus lefties, facing 3 lefties, no switch hitters, which is his weak hand, so he's got fantastic splits. And on top of that, the Rangers have only hit 13 of his last 66 pitches. That's a 197 batting average. So Garrett Cole is $12,300 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,400 less on DraftKings. He has an ERA of 1.37. His record is 5-1 on the season, pitching an average of 100 pitches per game, averaging 53 fantasy points per game. He scored 70, 31, and 64 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So he's in a fantastic spot here tonight. So I like Garrett Cole here versus the Texas Rangers. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher position. I like Yermin Mercedes with a 64% batting advantage over J.A. Happ. Yermin Mercedes is batting 20% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a 1.105 OPS versus lefties. And J.A. Happ, he throws his worst ball versus righty batters, 44% worse than his pitch to lefties, giving up a .766 OPS versus righties. Yermin Mercedes is 1 for 2 with a 1 OPS versus Happ. He's $2,800 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,800 more on DraftKings. Projected at 9.8 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 6, 0, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Yermin Mercedes here versus J.A. Happ.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Now guys, just as a quick note, we just released a free DFS contest on Draft Dashboard for MLB and NBA for DraftKings and FanDuel. There's over $500 available in the prize pool, and this is a totally free contest you can enter as a Draft Dashboard member. So make sure to click the link in the description of this video, give Draft Dashboard a try, and you can start playing in our free DFS contest and compete to win some money. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I got a couple of picks for you here. I like Jorge Polanco with a 46% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Dallas Keuchel. Jorge Polanco is batting 28% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .830 OPS versus lefties. And Dallas Keuchel, he's giving up a .709 OPS versus switch hitters. He throws his worst ball to switch hitters, 18% worse than his other pitches, and I like this pick because Polanco is 5 for 12 with a .417 batting average and a .834 OPS versus Keuchel. Now, Polanco is $2,900 FanDuel salary, and he's $2,200 more on DraftKings. Projected at 9.1 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 12 and 12 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Jorge Polanco here versus Dallas Keuchel. Okay, another pick at the second base position. I'm going to give you a value play here. I like Leury Garcia with a 64% batting advantage over J.A. Happ. Leury Garcia is batting 41% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a .983 OPS versus lefties. And we know J.A. Happ throws his worst ball versus switch hitters. 23% worse than his pitch to lefties, giving up a .776 OPS versus switch hitters. So Garcia is 4 for 12, batting a .333 batting average and a .916 OPS versus Happ. He's only $2,100 FanDuel salary and $800 more on DraftKings, projected at 8.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 7 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 6, 3, and 6 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Leury Garcia here versus J.A. Happ. You know what? And it looks like Jonathan Schoop, another value play, is in a pretty good spot here. He's only $2,100 FanDuel salary and $200 more on DraftKings. He's got a 17% pitching advantage versus Yusei Kikuchi, and he's 2 for 5, batting .400 with a 1.1 OPS versus Kikuchi. He's projected at 9.9 fantasy points here tonight, only averaging 6 fantasy points per game on the season, but he scored 10 and 22 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So he's in a pretty good spot here tonight, and his salary is low, so that's going to give you some salary relief if you're looking to fit in that stud pitcher Garrett Cole. So I like Jonathan Schoop here versus Yusei Kikuchi. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like Gio Urshela with a 44% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Jordan Lyles. Gio Urshela, he's batting 34% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .902 OPS versus righties. And Jordan Lyles throws his worst ball versus righty batters, 10% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .916 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Lyles yet, and Gio Urshela is $2,900 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,900 more on DraftKings. Projected at 9.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 0, 6, and 26 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Gio Urshela here versus Jordan Lyles.
Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. So I know I've given you a few picks here versus J.A. Happ, but I think this is a good game to stack. So I like Tim Anderson with a 71% batting advantage over J.A. Happ. Tim Anderson is batting 27% better versus lefty pitchers. He's batting a 1.087 OPS versus lefties. And J.A. Happ, he throws 44% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .766 OPS versus righties. Now I like this pick because Tim Anderson is 11 for 19 with a .579 batting average and a 1.579 OPS versus Happ. So these guys all have really good player versus pitcher history. So I think it just makes a good stack to get a couple of these guys in your lineup versus J.A. Happ. So Tim Anderson is $3,800 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,500 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.9 fantasy points here tonight. He's averaging 13 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 24, 9, and 9 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Tim Anderson here versus J.A. Happ. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. Where is my outfield pick? Oh, I don't have one. Let's just take a look. Right off the bat, I see a guy in a pretty good spot here. I like Nelson Cruz with a 20% batting advantage over Dallas Keuchel. Nelson Cruz is batting 32% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.210 OPS versus lefties. Now, Dallas Keuchel, he does throw his best ball versus righty batters, giving up a .547 OPS versus righties, but I like this pick because Nelson Cruz is 18 for 52 with a .346 batting average and a 1.138 OPS versus Keuchel. He's got 6 home runs. So Nelson Cruz is $3,700 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,200 more on DraftKings. Projected at 12.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 6 and 13 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Nelson Cruz here versus Dallas Keuchel.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.